Welcome to the Other Discovery Show, the podcast that's not about podcasts. It's the bonus show from the Podcast Discovery Show that's all about all of the other things that we discovered throughout the week. I'm Kirk.
And I am Zach.
And this week, I found something that I thought was really fascinating. During World War II, the Nazis invaded Norway. And the Norwegians, they didn't like it. I don't know why, but they didn't like it. Maybe it was because the Nazis weren't really nice.
Maybe the understatement of the century.
Yeah, the Nazis, they weren't very nice when they got there. But what I thought was great and fascinating is they had to find a way to unite in some form of defiance. And in this article, it says, it was in the autumn of 1940 when students at Oslo University started wearing paperclips on their lapels as a nonviolent symbol of resistance, unity, and national pride. So essentially, the people of Norway started putting paperclips on their lapels, and that was a symbol to say, I don't stand with this regime. I don't agree with this stuff that's going on. And it became like the symbol for a resistance, even though it was like nonverbal, because I mean, literally they would be sent to concentration camps, and they were.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Did they talk at all about why the paperclip was the thing? I guess just because it was available.
Yeah, this article literally goes into extreme lengths discussing why or who made the paperclip. So apparently it was a Norwegian guy who made it. Johan Valer.
Johan Valer.
Johan Valer. There you go. He's the one that had invented the paperclip. So that was part of the thing, but they would make like bracelets out of the paper clips, or they would find clever ways of displaying their rejection of the Nazi ideology. But I just thought it was a very fascinating. I've always thought that was interesting when you see a resistance that has clung to a symbol, and the fact that I'm going to start wearing a paperclip on my lapel from now on.
You should. It's just what, anti-Nazi? I mean, I support that. I support you making that stand.
But I thought it was hilarious because, of course, eventually the Nazis figured it out, and then they made it illegal for you to
wear no paperclips. Just proving that they weren't fun.
The Norwegians found other ways to resist the Nazis, too. 12,000 of the teachers who were told to teach Nazism went on strike. And at first, they tried to deport like a bunch of them, but they never stopped like being on strike. So they just gave up and stopped making them try to teach Nazism to the children.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine being alive in that time. Just ridiculous to think about, kind of like the entire world changed and just had to deal with something.
Some other great, I just love this. In general public of Norway were waging a silent war of their own. In addition to donning paperclips, they made life difficult for the German soldiers in various subtle ways. It's like, it's passive aggressive in the best way. Many of them refused to speak German, even though it was widely known language at the time.
They're just like, no.
And they would point the soldiers in the wrong direction when telling them how to get from point A to point B. They refused to sit beside German soldiers when they rode on public transportation, an act of defiance that enraged the Germans so much that they made it illegal to stand on the bus if there were seats open.
I like how they're so petulant. All these laws they made were just because they were getting trolled. It apparently worked. All of these things apparently worked.
I love that story of the Norwegian resistance in during World War II. It was just great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I discovered something called Discover, and it's spelled with most of the vowels are missing, but it stands for the Deep Space Climate Observatory. And it was launched in February 2015 and maintains the nation's real-time solar wind monitoring capabilities, which are critical to the accuracy and lead time of NOAA's space weather alerts and forecasts. Without timely and accurate warnings, space weather events like geomagnetic storms have the potential to disrupt nearly every major public infrastructure system on Earth, including power grids, telecommunications, aviation, and GPS. The Discover mission succeeded NASA's Advanced Composition Explorer role in supporting solar wind alerts and warnings from L1 orbit. Which, I learned something else. This satellite sits in what's called the Lagrange point. And what that is it's perfectly in between two large bodies so that the gravity effectively cancels each other. So it sits at the perfect place between Earth and the sun so that both of the gravitational poles cancel each other out, and it can just sit there in stasis. And
that is crazy.
They want it there on purpose because it doesn't move. And what this ends up doing is it takes, I think, a picture of the entire Earth every 15 minutes. And it gives us advanced warning when there's like magnetic field disruptions or storm of particles from the sun. And also it helps us monitor a lot of things on the planet as well. And all of these things like NOAA and all of these things are pretty dependent on this. And the reason I discovered this, and I'm going to switch to a window capture so everybody can see this is what it looks like. This is a real picture of our planet that was taken today. I can't remember. It doesn't say the time, I don't think. And here's one thing. Let me find it. So everybody knows what's going on right now in California. And this right here, this brown spot up here is literally the smoke from the California wildfires in like this top left corner.
I don't see it on the screen, by the way.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. So here it is right here. If you look right here on this like left side of the California area, you can see the literal smoke mixing in with the clouds. That's how big these fires are. But this is all how everything looks from this satellite.
So when did you say that picture was taken?
This is taken today.
That's crazy.
See? Yesterday. 9:10. But yeah, this was yesterday, and you can literally see all of the smoke that's forming over the West Coast. It's just crazy. And this is one of those things that looks like the blue marble, and they literally are putting this out every single day. And then you can see like storms and stuff happening down here. You can see a lot of stuff about our planet because it just is sitting up there taking pictures of us all the time. And then I found this amazing Reddit post with an awesome video. Just check this out. This is the moon rotating between this satellite and Earth. Does not even look real.
That's real?
Yeah. That's from this satellite.
That doesn't look real. That's pretty crazy.
So yeah, it's just a really cool thing that we have going on. And it's one of those things that you can literally look at the pictures of the planet anytime you want to. And it's just like available to us now. But that was never something that was available before now. So it's just kind of cool.
No, that's fascinating.
We actually have a call that we'd like to put in here now because we have gotten another call from our film correspondent. He felt challenged by Giles and Robbie of the Filmmakers Podcast sending us some movie
As well he should. So now we have our film correspondent, Keith, back on the job.
Hey, gentlemen. This is Keith from the Pop-Up Filmcast. Apparently, I am the movie correspondent. Apparently, maybe I was almost replaced by Giles from Filmmakers. I apologize for not being in touch lately. But I have watched some movies. Over on HBO Max, I recommend American An American Pickle. It's Seth Rogen playing two different roles. Him and his, I think it's like great grandfather. The great grandfather falls into a vat in a pickle factory, and he gets pickled, and so he doesn't die, officially die, and 100 years later he meets his grandson, or his great grandson. Hilarity ensues. And my other recommendation will be over on Hulu, a movie called Palm Springs. I don't want to give too much about it. I don't want to give anything away about it, but it is a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot. It stars Andy Samberg. It's funny and involves some time travel stuff, I guess, that I like that. You can beat that out if you want, so nobody knows. All right, I'll do better. I'll get back on these calls and start putting them in a little bit more as I watch some more movies. All right, guys. Sorry I've been delayed. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thanks so much to Keith for recommending. He recommended both Palm Springs on Hulu and then An American Pickle. I have seen the trailer for the American Pickle movie, and it looks extremely odd.
Okay, so I guess I saw that he had left a message, and I've actually seen that this was a movie. I had no idea what it was about. I had no idea it was basically like time travel
in a pickle,
but pickle-based time travel.
Yeah.
I love pickles, so I am going to love this movie.
I like how Josh even beat you to that in chat. He said that Kirk loves pickles. But yeah, I saw the trailer for it. It looked extremely odd, but maybe I'll have to give it a shot now that our film correspondent says it's good.
Now that one I know we can do for a movie night, so we need to set that one up. We can watch that one as a group. I think that'd be fun.
Okay. Sounds
After
good.
we watch Kazam, then next week we'll watch American Pickle. I got to make Keith join so that he can be in there since he's the correspondent.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But yeah, thanks so much to Keith for the movie recommendations. I discovered something else crazy this week, and this is Atlas Obscura. Shout out, amazing website. Go read it. It's amazing.
If we just say that they sponsor us enough, do you think they'll sponsor us?
What I'm saying is they don't have to for me to tell people they're amazing. If they ever do, that's just the best possible win-win. But it is an amazing website. You should check it out. This article is called "Can America's Premier Lightning Lab Revive Its Renegade Spirit?" So this is all based on a place that starting in the 80s was the absolute best at getting the science of lightning specifically. And they not only study lightning, they have found a way to trigger lightning. And they do this on purpose. They have built-in bunkers in the building so that when they're triggering lightning and trying to study it, because they trigger it so that they can slow it down and so they can grab any kind of data and footage they possibly can about it. And
you're not talking about like a Tesla coil type thing,
I am
right?
talking about lightning from the sky.
Real lightning.
Yes, lightning. So it's called, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing it, Langmuir, Langmuir. And so essentially they put out a warning and they say, okay, 5 minutes, everybody. And they get ready. They bunker up. They turn on their high-speed cameras, and it's literally just a fraction of a second. It's lightning, but they do all this preparation, and then they're studying lightning. And they have been doing this and photographing lightning since 1963, but it's been 6 years since anyone has triggered lightning there. Essentially, it became not as important, I guess, for funding to go towards lightning research. It was just something that people felt like it was kind of, well, whatever. We don't really, they weren't concerned enough about it that they wanted to keep putting funding into it. So they've had a decrease in funding, and so they've essentially had to slow down everything they were doing. But during World War II,
I mean, if we stop researching lightning, then we'll never be able to time travel. Why would they slow it down?
Based on Back to the Future?
I mean, it's a documentary, is it not?
Yeah, it definitely is.
Which
So
still doesn't make any sense.
yeah, no, but basically, I think they started in the mid 80s. They were always doing these crazy things. So this wasn't like a super sterile kind of everybody's very, very detailed and like careful about everything. These were they kind of the self-described rebels in the scientific field, because literally they weren't trying to just like take some pictures of lightning. They were trying to make lightning happen. And so they would release balloons and stuff like that. There's actually a quote from a lightning researcher at University of Florida that says,
Go Gators.
I think that a great deal of what is known about thunderstorm change and charging probably started there, with balloon flights through thunderstorms. They've just had generation after generation of really smart people who push the field of atmospheric electricity forward. So this entire place became this like kind of weird, rebellious scientist guy place. And so they started doing all this weird stuff. But then we get to how they would do this. So first, they were hanging a cable between two mountains to try to electrically charge thunderstorms. And now they also like work with people who essentially see weird phenomena like what they call it, ball lightning and things like that. Some of these
stuff's crazy.
Some of these weird looking things that people kind of freak out a little bit. But basically they would just keep doing that, and they kept doing all kinds of things. But because of the types of things they were doing, it attracted people who were interested in kind of pushing the boundaries of science without having to worry too much about all the detail of it and all the meticulousness of working through what would traditionally be done. And there is just the coolest equipment here. So essentially they have all kinds of stuff to measure lightning, and they color code it. They're trying to see the negative and positive charges in it. And then there's
they
something
measure it in gigawatts.
Yeah, I think so. They definitely have a picture of what's his name? I can't remember his name anymore. I'm just gonna say Michael J. Fox because I can remember his name, but that's not the one. But yeah, essentially they have all this like extreme equipment to do it. But the thing
Doc
is,
Brown.
Yeah, Doc Brown. Yeah,
there you go.
But there was one thing that as soon as I saw they could trigger lightning, I was like, what does that mean? So
yeah, I was gonna ask. I didn't know if it was in the article, so I'm glad you have it.
They have something called a sounding rocket, and they put it in a tube and they shoot it, and they have rocket triggered lightning because it is a lightning connected to a copper coated steel wire that is just launched into a thunderstorm.
That is awesome.
And
that's so cool.
There's I'm going to link this article so everybody, if you look down towards the bottom of this article, you'll see literally this wire getting completely vaporized by a lightning strike. And essentially just all of this is so awesome. But they haven't been able to do that side of things in 6 years now. So basically I think this is just they're trying to get back into the game. They're trying to get back into doing the kind of research they were about. And so they're trying to figure out ways to do that. And the kind of the last quote from one of the
There's
leaders
some crazy pictures on here, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. The last
what is
quote,
transient luminous events such as sprites? That looks crazy.
Yeah. See, they do a lot of stuff with essentially the kind of the weird visual stuff with the atmospheric electricity. They're a really cool group. I'd never heard about it. I wanted to know how you trigger lightning. And
oh man,
the leader said that we want to continue triggering lightning. We're in no way done with that. So there's hope that not only will they do it, but maybe we can have video of it. We can all see it. Maybe they'll live stream it. That's how they should get going.
That picture of the lightning going down that like copper wire is nuts.
Yeah, and down below that picture, or no, it's right above it. That's their bunker. That's the bunker they all have to go to when they're literally trying to blast their own building with lightning.
This is amazing. I love this. We live in Florida, so we see lightning storms all the time. And my favorite thing is to like be at the beach where you're not getting rained on, but you can see a lightning storm way out in the Gulf, and it's so beautiful. And especially like at night, man, nothing like it. It's so cool.
It is amazing.
So I found something that is very timely for today as we record, because today is September 11th. So as we record, we kind of remember that horrible day in 2001. But I found something that I'd never heard of before that's a tribute to that, and I wanted to read it to you guys. In September 2001, Honeybee Robotics employees in Lower Manhattan were building a pair of tools for grinding weathered rinds off of rocks on Mars, so that scientific instruments on NASA's Mars exploration rovers Spirit and Opportunity could inspect the rock's interiors. That month's attacks on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, less than a mile away, shook the lives of the employees and millions of others. Work on the rock abrasion tools needed to meet a tight schedule to allow thorough testing before launch dates governed by the motions of the planets. The people building the tools could not spend much time helping at shelters or in other ways to cope with the life-changing tragedy on September 11th. However, they did find a special way to pay tribute to the thousands of victims who perished in the attack. An aluminum cuff serving as a cable shield on each of the rock abrasion tools on Mars was made from aluminum covered from the destroyed World Trade Center towers. The metal bears the image of an American flag and fills a renewed purpose as part of the solar system exploration. So basically, they made part of this tool that it was used and is still being used on Mars to explore rocks from the World Trade Center remains, from aluminum from the World Trade Center remains. There's a quote in here that says, "It's gratifying knowing that a piece of the World Trade Center is up there on Mars. That shields on Mars, to me, contrasts the destructive nature of the attackers with the ingenuity and hopeful attitude of Americans." Since landing on the Red Planet, both rovers have made important discoveries about wet environments on ancient Mars that may have been favorable for supporting microbial life. Spirit ended communication in March 2010. Opportunity is still active, and researchers plan to use its rock abrasion tool on selected targets around a large crater that the rover reached last month. One day, both rovers will be silent. In the cold, dry environment where they have worked on Mars, the onboard memorials to the victims of the September 11th attacks could remain in good condition for millions of years.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so the Reddit post that I had seen was like piece of the World Trade Center on Mars. I'm like, what? And so I read, and this is a NASA article, and it was I just thought it was fascinating because I love space stuff. I think it's crazy that we have robots up there doing random stuff for us.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, no, we were just talking about today. It's crazy that was 19 years ago now, was September 11th. It feels crazy because we were both in middle school at the time.
Were we in the same class at the time?
I was in Miss Craddock's classroom. I don't know if you
Miss
were in
Bailey
there.
Was our teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were in science class. Yeah,
yep.
That's crazy.
And Mr. Porter's legs appeared below the transparency screen thing.
Yep.
Yep.
And she was a little goofy, and then we could tell on his face that something really bad had happened. Yeah, that was I can still remember it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Weird day. I remember going home, and you and me talked on the phone for a long time because we were like in this we were kids, and we were in this like post-apocalyptic mindset of like, well, what are we gonna do? You know, what if we're at, there's a war, an attack here, and crazy stuff. I remember thinking all those horrible things and being fearful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, no,
weird,
it's just
scary
crazy
time.
Well, for my final discovery this week, I'm actually going to bring one of Josh's they sent over to us because it's a great one. It is the man who founded Jelly Belly, the Jelly Belly name, I guess, to give away a candy factory as part of a gold ticket treasure hunt. Remember hidden cash? Well, now a different kind of treasure hunt could be the next big craze. So essentially, This man has made his own Willy Wonka treasure hunt. And what you have to do, and it's kind of this crazy thing. There's necklaces with little tags on them, and then you will get $5,000. But one person literally is going to win a key to a candy factory. And if you do that, and by the way, one of these Candyman kitchens is in Florida, and he said,
wait, what?
Yeah, he said the world needs this right now. We've received thousands of comments from people who say this has come at such a perfect time, but it's not free. If you want to participate, you need to pay about $50 to receive the state's riddle. There's also a gold ticket Facebook group, and each treasure hunt has a strict limit of 1,000 participants. So, do you want to do it?
Yeah, dude. I want
a candy factory. I want to solve a riddle. I want to go on a treasure hunt. I want all of these things at the same time.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go on a treasure hunt, especially to know that there's like an actual treasure at the end.
Yeah, and Willy Wonka.
May not find it.
And Oompa Loompas.
Yes, of course. I want to, but I just, you got to listen to the rules or you can't win the
or you get like
prize.
Are the kids dying in that movie?
Oh yeah, it's a movie about child murder for sure.
I'm pretty sure they die. Like I'm pretty sure a large group of them. Like basically, if you start messing up, you just like die. No, I think the Blueberry Girl made it like she got like unblueberried somewhat.
That one kid's still stuck in the TV though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty traumatic movie.
I mean, it's a okay, for real though. That movie did used to scare me when I was real little.
Yeah, no, there was definitely scary parts of that.
Especially that stinking the boat ride. Oh, that thing would trip me out when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think the boat ride gave a lot of children PTSD. For long times afterwards, people they'd have flashbacks of the first time they saw the boat ride, and there was just crazy hallucinogenic lights flashing at you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to find these golden tickets, all of this stuff will be linked in the show notes. I can throw it in the stream here too. But yeah, you can go out there and you can own your own candy factory by solving a riddle and finding a golden ticket.
We need to do this together. Let's just all go on a.
Oh, you want to go splitsies on a ticket and then we can all try and find it?
Yeah, it can be the PDS Jelly Factory.
The PDS Jelly Factory. That makes it sound like we're making jelly and not candy.
Yeah, I didn't finish the words I was trying to say, but well, all right, guys. Those are all of the things that we discovered. Again, we have some really cool stuff, hopefully next week, if everything works out. And you need to tune in because it's going to be fun. And I'm excited.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening to the episode. If you're on the stream, thanks so much for checking it out. We have a Facebook group. We have a Twitter. We have a YouTube. We have a Twitch channel. If you search us online for whatever platform you're looking for, we try to be on there. So I hope you get in touch. We really do. We love building the community and talking to everyone about what they think about the shows or just what they've discovered throughout the week. We really appreciate anything that you've done to support the podcast. It's been great. We're having a great time doing it. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
This was a podcast from the Podfix Network. You can check out more shows like it at podfixnetwork.com.